got there, Myrna?
A letter, sir. It's from London.
Oh, they run to tell Lonely to wait. There'll be an answer to this.
Yes, sir. More tea, Mr. Lawton?
No, thank you, Myrna. What was it?
A letter from London.
Oh.
There's Black. That means Lawton's here. Well, if it isn't my old friend, Black.
Hello, Barbara.
Hello, Black.
Oh, you're busy.
Yeah. I've just had a letter from Marion. She needs more money. I've got to get a check off to her at once.
Oh, I see. I say, Dan, by the way, if you decide to sell that young bull I won, let me know, will you? I'll see you in a day or so.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. Cheerio. Hiya, Drake.
So long, Lawton. Lawton pestering you again about buying that prize bull?
Yeah, Dick, he was.
Well, why don't you tell him once and for all that he can't have it, Dan? You know that he's a competitor for our meat contract, and he's simply trying to improve his own stock. That contract's worth thousands to us. And the only reason we landed it was because our cattle were better than his.
You don't like Lawton, do you?
Not particularly, no.
You must remember, he's one of our neighbors. And you must admit that he's been a good friend to me when I needed one.
You believe in everybody, don't you, Dan?
Just had a letter from Marion.
So this check tells me. Look here, Dan, there's something that's got to be said. And don't blame me if you don't like it.
What's the trouble?
3 things. Rangle River, Marion, and you.
I don't understand you, Dick.
Well, then perhaps I better explain it to you so you will understand. First of all, Rangle River's failing us. You know that. And if it dries up, the cattle will lose condition, and that means we'll lose the meat contract. We need a well, Dan. Need it desperately. And yet you say we can't afford to bore for water. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of the money that Marion spends for gowns and jewels and expensive parties and flying trips all over Europe, that's why. You've completely spoiled her, Dan.
That's pretty straight talk, Dick.
I always try and talk straight. The plain truth of the matter is, it's about time that Marion quit spending money and came home and made herself useful. She's been a great expense to you, Dan. An expense you couldn't afford.
Perhaps I can't quite afford it, Dick. But I want Marion to have all the things she's been having. I want her to be happy and get the best out of life. And how can she do that if I don't send her money?
And how will you be able to send her money when you're broke? And that's what'll happen, Dan, if we don't get water.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. Rangle River hasn't failed us as yet. And if it does, well, we can raise money to sink a bore somehow.
How?
Well, we can... Well, I'll leave it to you to look after the water, and I'll look after Marion. There's a girl that's just got to have this. What's a few $100 anyway? Eh, Dick? Eh? Yeah, give this to Lonely, will you, Dick? See you later.
India? Single? Oh, of course, yes.
He means he's single, but he wants to return.
Yeah, that's right. Green.
Oh, I do wish you'd hurry. Our plane leaves in 3 minutes.
Name, sir? Manister. Initials? R.M. St. John C. R.M. St. John C. Reginald Morton St. John Cough. Oh, call me Reginald or I'll miss the bus.
It's all right, sir. That's only the Australian plane warming up.
Australia? That's an extraordinary thing. Fancy anyone going to Australia?
Oh, nice fellows, they're Australians, sir. Met some of them in the war. Showed me how to play poker.
Yes, I know, it's all very well. So, I mean, anybody in their right senses. Have you got all the luggage ready, Glenn?
Yes, sir, I've got it all numbered.
Excuse me, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Frightfully sorry.
Could you fix these transfers, please?
Oh, yes. You're the two ladies for Australia transferring a Darwin.
I'd hate the pilot to go without us.
Has he seen you yet?
Oh, yes, we've come from London.
Oh, I don't think he'd go without you. I think he'd rather miss his meals.
Thank you for that assurance, young man.
Not at all.
And you're delighted?
Absolutely.
And it's a pleasure?
Quite.
I thought so. Come along, Marion. Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice trip. Quickly, give me a ticket to Australia.
But you said India.
My dear chap, I distinctly said Australia. Didn't I, Green?
Distinctly, sir.
Yes.
Pardon me, sir, but
What is it,
do you think you're in your right senses, sir?
Green?
Sorry, sir.
Now listen, tell that pilot to warm the engines a bit longer, will you?
Right, sir.
Tell him I like them nice and hot.
Yes, sir.
How much is that fare?
£36.
36 pounds, right. Now hurry up, Green.
Go, sir.
Otherwise I might miss her.
Go, sir.
Right. The black 7 on the red 8.
Thank you.
Quite right. Jack of hearts on the queen of clubs. You're playing awfully carelessly, aren't you?
No, if you hadn't been with us all the way, young man, you'd have been a great help to me.
Thank you.
By the way, I thought I heard you booking for India.
India? Oh, no. I'm going to Australia. I have some friends there, you know.
And where in Australia?
Where? Where? A place near Coombe.
Coons?
Yes, I'm going to do some prospecting there. Might be quite interesting, don't you think?
Very. And what are you prospecting for?
The 9 of diamonds on the 10 of clubs. This is rotten luck. The only friends I have in the country are on their way to Colombo.
How unfortunate, Mr. Manister. And what will you do now?
What? Well, I don't know what I shall do, really. I mean, here I am, Australia. I'd like to see a bit of the country, of course. But I suppose I shall have to toddle back to Singapore and give up all my ideas of prospecting.
You know, we have some really lovely prospecting near our place at Rangle River.
Really?
Yes. And if you'd like to come along as our guest for a week or two, I'm sure my father would be delighted. Don't you think so, Abby?
Well, I thank you very much indeed, Miss Hasty. That's awfully nice. Yes, I'd love to come. I can do my prospecting all over the place, sir. That's frightfully nice of you.
Can't you read what's written there? I'm telling you for the last time, these are Rangle River trucks and you can't use them for your cattle.
I say they're Lawton trucks. I'm going to use them.
Well, try it, Black.
All right.
Ah, sophistic display. Outpost of the Empire. Splendid.
very naughty.
Who is that man?
That's Drake of Rangle River, miss.
Come on, barbed wire. Let's load our trucks.
Hey, I knew he'd get off. It was bad, even now.
Hurry it up, barbed wire.
Are you Richard Drake?
What's left of me?
You're the rough and ready, great outdoor type, aren't you?
Beg your pardon?
And you rather fancy yourself as being a two-fisted man's man, don't you?
Well,
Well, I want to tell you, Mr. Drake, that you impress a casual observer like myself as being something of a bully.
What?
And you usually talk to ladies with your hat on.
I beg your pardon. Just, who is the lady I'm talking to?
I'm Marion Hastings.
Oh, I see.
And about that letter you sent me calling me...
I haven't time to talk about that now. I sent it. You got it. The letter explained everything, I think. Excuse me.
Yes, you are bad-mannered, Mr. Drake. And incidentally, I want to tell you I didn't enjoy that brutal exhibition.
I don't suppose you did. They don't teach that sort of thing in the smart finishing schools in England, do they?
No, but they do teach good manners.
Well, Miss Hastings, your good manners will be a great deal of help to our thirsty cattle at Rangle River. In fact, your valuable experience on the continent will undoubtedly solve our entire problem. Now, just what do you suggest we do first?
I suggest you acquire some intelligence and stop treating men like cattle.
Now, wait a minute, Miss Hastings. In the first place, you've only just arrived here, and so you don't know whether we use our intelligence or not. In the second place, there are some men who deserve being treated like cattle. And in the third place, since you've been abroad for 15 years, wasting your father's money and generally making yourself useless, you shouldn't voice an opinion. Because you can't have any conception of what we're up against here.
Well, Mr. Drake, suppose you tell me in your charming and courteous manner just what you are up against.
You, among other things.
I say, what a fight. Drake, what a fighter. Probably a descendant of Sir Francis Drake, huh? Great chap.
Our opinions differ, Mr. Manister.
Huh? Oh, I suppose so, yes.
Stay for dinner tonight, Donald. I've been a bit worried. I'd like to have a talk to you.
About the river drying up, you mean?
Yeah. How are you off for water?
Oh, I haven't.
There's a car coming.
Could you tell me where... Daddy! Daddy! Darling.
Marion, my little kitty.
I'm so glad to be back.
I say, Mrs. Abbott.
Let me have a look at you. You haven't changed a bit.
Not after 15 years?
No. I knew you the moment I saw you.
Well, then, Hastings, haven't you got a word of welcome for your sister?
Abby, my dear, welcome home. Lawton, my sister.
How do you do?
Tom, I'm sure.
And daughter.
How do you do?
Well, this is an unexpected pleasure.
Just a moment, Daddy. Daddy, I want you to
Oh,
meet...
this is Flight Lieutenant Manister of the RAF, I believe.
Absolutely.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
As he was visiting Australia on leave, I took the liberty of asking him to come and stay with us for a few weeks.
Yes, it was very kind of your daughter. I appreciate it very much indeed.
You're very welcome, Mr. Manister.
Thanks. I think I shall have a great time here. You know, this place has got quite a grip on me already.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy your stay with us.
Thank you, sir.
Well, come along inside, all of you.
Oh, the luggage.
I say, what about giving a hand with the luggage?
Oh, of course.
My dear, it's just as if a little bit of heaven has come right into this home just now.
Is it, Dad?
Oh, I missed you terribly. But just seeing you makes me satisfied with all the lonely years.
They'll never be lonely for you again, Daddy.
But what brought you home so unexpectedly, dear?
I missed you, too. Besides, I received a letter from a man named Drake.
Delightful dinner, Dan. Just like old times.
And there's your old chair waiting for you,
But
Abby.
how charming.
Are you happy?
Very happy, Dad.
May I? I say, old boy, how do you make that damper stuff you were talking about? Frightfully indigestible, I'd say.
Well, damper's the Australian bushman's bread. It's quite simply made. The dough's merely dumped into the hot ashes of a fire. Oh, actually, it's most delicious.
Sounds awfully jolly. Oh, shall I get rid of that for you?
Who's that singing?
It'll be some of the boys coming back from the railway siding.
Who's that leading the singing? He has a splendid voice.
That'll be Drake.
Oh, Drake.
Oh, God knows where, forget 'em. Hang up your boots and saddles, forget all your aches and pains, and sing us the song we all love, the song of the plain.
Beats me how Black's crowd knew we were shipping our cattle today.
Me too. There's lots of things around here that beats me lately. Who was the girl you were petting after you knocked Black?
I wasn't exactly petting. That was Marion Hastings.
Nice looking, isn't she?
I didn't notice particularly.
Maybe it'll start something when you do.
Yeah, maybe you'll stop something in a minute.
She ought to give you an interest in life.
Rangle River drying up gives me enough interest without worrying about a girl like that.
Like what?
Like, oh, let's not discuss it.
Who's that nut with her this afternoon?
I don't know. He looked English.
He saved you something in the head. I like him.
Yeah, so do I.
So does the girl.
Oh, you take care of the horse.
Oh, Mr. Drake. I want to tell you that although I don't like you, I do like you sending me that letter. I had no idea. My father, I'm so worried.
Thank you, Miss Hastings. Speaking of liking, I'm not exactly fond of you either. Although I do like the fact that you obeyed my instructions and came home to make yourself useful.
I didn't obey your...
Good night, Miss Hastings.
Good night.
You know, that reminds me. I know a splendid story about seeing things.
Is this fit for my ears?
Absolutely, Mrs. Abbott. As a matter of fact, this is rather a rib tickler. You see, it starts off with the telephone bell rings.
What telephone?
Oh, any telephone, Mrs. Abbott. And the old man answers the phone.
What old man?
Oh, any old man, just for the sake of the story, you see. Anyway, the old man answers the phone, and he says to the caller, hang on.
Hang on to what?
Oh, dash it all, this is awfully trying. I beg your pardon, so sorry. He says to the caller, hang on. And he skips away, you see, gets his spectacles, comes back, takes up the phone, puts on his spectacles, and says to the caller, now.
Frightfully funny.
It's good. I knew you'd like it.
Absolutely a riot.
Absolutely.
When the wild rose blooms again, with the hawthorn down the lane, and the songbirds sing again.
That's the very song her mother used to sing.
When the woods with flowers are gay, where hand in hand we used to stray, it is then I hope and pray you'll remember me. When the wild rose blooms a twisting tree. When the woods with flowers are gay, where hand in hand we used to stray, it is then I hope and pray you'll remember
You'll need lots more room for your lovely things when the rest of your trunks arrive.
They can stay in the trunks, Abby. From now on, I'm going to stop being merely ornamental and be useful for a change.
Even ornaments have their uses, my dear. And this old house certainly looks as if it could do with one.
Everyone here has been working while I've been playing. There's trouble here, and Daddy has great worries. I'm going to work.
Trouble, you say? You're right, Marion. There's something.
Something ugly. I feel it somehow. Mr. Drake says I'm useless.
Does he?
Yes, and he didn't mince matters telling me either. I think he's hateful. Just a fighting brute.
I think he's quite interesting. Dark-haired. Quite interesting, I thought.
Well, I don't. Why didn't he send for me before? Why didn't he tell me that Daddy was so ill?
Why don't you ask him?
Ask him? I'd rather die first. Useless, am I?
Now, come along, get into bed. You can't do anything useful tonight anyway.
Useless, am I?
Good night, dear.
Good night, Abby. Useless, am I?
So I've got bad manners, huh?
What's that?
What? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Hello there. Removing the grime of battle?
Yeah, I'm just getting some of the slime off my hands.
Drake, I believe.
Yes.
My name's Reginald Morton St. John Carthew Bannister.
What?
But my friends all call me Reggie.
Reggie.
Yes.
Well, Reggie, I want to thank you for saving me from that knock on the head today. It was very nice of you.
Not at all. Dash good fight.
Thanks. But not the sort of thing they teach in the smart finishing schools in England.
Oh, quite right. Quite right. Something they rather lack, don't you think? Hello, I say, what have you got there? Let me give you a hand, huh?
Thanks.
How on earth did you get these?
No, lack of good manners and intelligence, I suppose.
Not a bit of it. That fist is worth its weight in intelligence.
Well, apparently, that's a matter of opinion.
Quite right. Quite right. Here we are. How's that?
Fine. You have rather a professional touch. Thanks.
How'd I mention it? Well,
Well, I was...
So sorry. Well, good night.
Good night.